Hello, everyone. What we're going to cover today is a variety of things. So, we're going to cover dude ranches. We're going to cover what we call dude ranch light. So, places that are delivering a lot of what somebody might be looking for in a dude ranch, but in terms of like a countryside setting and mountains and sort of activities that aren't really like a full working ranch. But often, when you are looking at one, you are comparing the other. So it's good to know about most of them. We are going to be jumping around the U.S. Rockies. We have everything from Colorado to New Mexico and obviously Montana and Wyoming. So,
Who
who are dude ranches right for?
kind of anyone with the exception of maybe very young children. So dude ranches are great for multi-gen trips when you've got everything from grandparents who just want to be in a beautiful setting, doing the parents who want the active things with children. Somewhere wonderful where you can run around mountains and do all those fun things. But it's not great for people who have very young children. And the problem with that is often the ranch setting has horses and there are limitations in terms of how young children are being able to ride the horses. Usually it's something like 6 or 8 years old before they are able to go on their trail rides. Lots of them do have incredible children programs that are more your traditional kid clubs that you can take care of your younger kids. But I will say lots of these are pricey, but really is something for everyone and even for couples as well. We will be covering some places actually on one particular that does even allow children.
Yeah, it does not allow children.
So
Yeah. So you can have that romantic vacation that a couple may want without the children running everywhere because dude ranches tend to be quite family oriented during the summer. Now, this is a multi season kind of trip. Ranches are for use, would often be seasonal, so they would open for the summer only. Some still do, however, not all. There are ranches, including Brush Creek Ranch, which we will be covering, Lone Mountain Ranch, and a few others that are year round. And what really happened during the pandemic is we discovered the joys of the great outdoors in these places and said, okay, let's see what we can do in terms of winter activities. So you might see this beautiful landscape with the cows and all of that in the summer. You're going for hikes, and in this winter, you're going snowshoeing, cross country skiing, sledding. All that can be done as well. So we'll move into the properties that we're going to be covering, and then we're not really going to do so much in terms of activities and local recommendations this time because your activities are all really done on property. When you go to a ranch, you are really at the ranch. Many of them are all inclusive in terms of their pricing. We'll detail the ones that are more inclusive versus less inclusive. There are variations in terms of what they are including, but they are places where you're staying there. Typical length of stay, probably minimum 4 nights. Less than that, you're not really getting so much out of it. There's so many activities to do. And then up to a week or even longer, people often love to come back again and again and again to the same ranch as well. So you see, we really are covering lots of places in the Rockies. I will say this is not every hotel out there, but these are the ones that we are booking most often. So it's good to have some ideas in your head to understand what they are, and then yeah, they're all over the place. We'll be talking about specifically about how to get from certain airports to certain ranches. Now, do you need a car?
no, so much of you are doing something like you're going to Bozeman and then you are connecting out somewhere in Big Sky to go to a ranch house there. You might want to rent a car between the two places, but if you're really going and you're only in at the ranch, I think a rental car is not necessary.
So, starting with the beautiful state of Colorado. We aren't talking about the ski towns like Aspen or Telluride or Vail right now because they aren't really a ranch or ranch-lite, but obviously, for someone who just wants the great outdoors, they are beautiful places to visit as well. But we're really going to talk about a couple of properties that are very much ranches. Now, Sea Lazy U is indeed a ranch, but Sea Lazy U is actually one where, if you were to fly into Denver, you drive a couple of hours north. If you kept going, eventually you would cross into Wyoming and get to Brush Creek Ranch, which is one that we've done a stream on before, and we'll talk again about it later. Now, this is a ranch where it is less expensive than some of the others, and it is very popular for repeat visits. It is not fancy in the sense of rooms, it's all about the activities. So, as you can see, the cabins are rustic, they are comfortable. It's not about being in the cabin, you're out doing the activities because it's so popular, and there are a lot of repeat visits. One very important thing to know is that requesting a specific cabin or a specific location can be hard if you're a newcomer because often the repeats have the first dibs on that kind of thing. So keep that in mind and also understand that June, July, and August really is their peak season and will book up fast. Dude ranches are good to plan ahead because they too tend to run out of availability.
Now, Dunton Hot Spring we throw into a ranch-lite category. The thing about this one is it was actually a mining town that got abandoned, so it was a ghost town essentially that was bought and turned into a hotel. All you can see here, all these little cabins around here, these are the rooms. So the former post office, the former saloon, all of those have been turned into rooms since it is a really unique experience to stay. Yes, it is open in the winter. It is snowy. It is cozy. Yes, you are going to be walking outside to get to your meals. This isn't a hotel where you're always indoors. This really is for somebody who's quite outdoorsy, but it is gorgeous. Taunton Hot Spring has a sister property called Taunton River Camp. It's a few miles down the river and it is glamping camp along the river. This tent camp is only open in the summer because tents are cold in the winter. So keep that in mind as well. In the summer, it operates entirely separate from Dutton.
So Dutton, if you're at the hot springs, which have, yes, hot springs, you are having all your meals there. All your activities are departing from the town. If you are down at River Camp, same thing. All of your meals are there. All your activities are departing from there, so you're not really going back and forth. River Camp, I can't remember exactly how many tents it has, but it is popular for a buyout for a group. You can do that. Well, there are groups that have actually looked at having a buyout of both Hot Springs and River Camp for summer. So they aren't right next to each other. You have to think about who wants glamping tented camps, very nice tented camp, a very nice one, but still a tented camp versus the proper brick and mortar hotel room in these cabins. But it is a really interesting, very unique place to consider for groups who want something special. Weddings, corporate groups, all of that. And beautiful interior with that tub,
Right.
huh?
Zapata Ranch, you have probably never heard of this place. It is not fancy, it is not expensive, it is in South Colorado. It actually links up really well with the place we're going to talk about in northern New Mexico later. This is right on the edge of the Great Sands Dunes National Park. Now, if you ever seen photos of this, it's like the Sahara, but it is Colorado, which is wild. It is the ranch. It's very rustic. It is not fancy in terms of the hotel rooms. They have hotel rooms. They do connect.
They don't. They
They
don't
don't
connect.
connect.
Nope.
Really, kind of a motel room kind of look to it. Small, though. So for families again, you can do two side by side as long as kids aren't too young. And this is in great place for young kids because the whole point of being here is they're riding. They're riding. They have really great horses, really great rides, and you actually get to go and ride through the sand dunes in the national parks, which is amazing.
Yeah, it is for real riders. This is not for nobody who's never been on a horse before. This is for people who are a little more adventurous, who can roll with something, not being super five-star luxury, but want to be somewhere where the setting is really special. And you're seeing part of our country that, to be honest, I was not even aware that it even existed a few years ago.
That's true.
I should mention they do have some houses as well that function kind of separately from the hotel. Like you don't have your meals at the hotel. You have a kitchen that you could cook. It's kind of so if you see that on the website, really what you want to be doing is booking the hotel rooms.
Now we'll move into the Montana, which is often the first thing that comes into mind when we're talking about dude ranches. And I'm realizing as I'm looking at St. Lodge that it's about an hour outside of Bozeman. It is in Paradise Valley, which is where the series Yellowstone is set. It is exactly what it said what it is. I'm talking about ranch-lite. That is it. It is better price. The activities are not included. It is set in a beautiful setting that look a lot like this, which is what just reminded me that I forgot to include it. And you can hike, you can bike, you can fish, and you can do all those things. But it's not a ranch per se, though.
Yeah, they don't have horses there, but they can arrange horseback riding that you can do. But really, it's just a great place to be able to go do a day in Yellowstone, doing your activities, but not pay the price of a dude ranch. So keep that one in mind. The other thing to know about is they do have room, but also houses to accommodate really large groups that are really well priced when you divide it out per person.
Now we'll go into Lone Mountain Ranch. This is also for a former mining camp. It is in Big Sky. If you heard of Big Sky, as in the Sky Mountain, about the resort is 20 minutes from here. It is set in a gully. Amazing horses, amazing children's program, and the food is great. This is not a super five-star luxury experience.
No, sir. And it's not priced like one either.
Exactly. Activities were incredible. Staff is incredible. You don't have one of the views that you get with rolling hills outside your window because they built mining camps down in the gullies because it's protected them from the winter. This
Weather,
is what
yeah.
they get here. So you're riding out, you're hiking out, and you get those views, but you are not walking up and looking out. You're more so in the forest. I will go back in a second.
Yeah. One thing to know about this one in the winter is really excellent cross country skiing. So, if you are people who are serious cross country skiers, this is a good one and can downhill ski as well. Again, it's 20 minutes from the ski resort, but you're obviously not ski in, ski out. Cross country skiers love this spot.
Rancho Rock Creek. This is the cream de la creme, probably considered the nicest of all the dude ranches in all of America. It is beyond the price point of many Americans. It's beautiful. The interiors of the cabins look like something out of an architectural digest. The staff is amazing. The food is amazing. Everything top to bottom including the wine, great drinks, great food. All of your activities are included. Beautiful setting, but it's expensive. So don't bring this one up unless you know the client
That
has
yeah,
been budgeted
that's
for.
right. Unless you are the type of client that can budget this one. That said, uh, we can't tell you how many people that we've heard about who kind of like go end up going back because they don't feel ripped off. It's also it is a pricey one, but they also have some glamping tents. So they have a combination of cabins and glamping tents, more cabin oriented, but really everything about it is so beautiful and so well done. It is a 10 out of 10. It might even be an 11 out of 10 if somebody has the budget for this. It does sell out constantly, so definitely one to also plan ahead for, but really fantastic. I mean, I've never heard from anyone of a single complaint,
No.
aside from when I tell them how much it costs. Pause Up is the other one. So for both of these, you fly into Missoula. Does not have a direct flights from the East Coast. You're usually connecting through somewhere, whether it's through Denver or through Minneapolis, and then doing that hop up to Missoula. Whereas Bozeman, which services Sage Lodge, which I had spoken about earlier, as well as Big Sky, it's about an hour from Big Sky. Does have lots of nonstops from, or not lots, but it has no nonstops both sides of the country. Missoula does have nonstops from the West Coast, so West Coast can fly into Missoula straight shot, very easy. East Coasters, you'll have to connect, but these are probably the two most famous dude ranches. So Resort at Paws Up and Ranch at Rock Creek. Big difference is pricing. So, if you price them next to each other, Paws Up would look cheaper. That's because the activities are not included. So, we like Paws Up
Yeah.
for multi-gen groups where you have, grandma and grandpa. They're they're there. They're not gonna do a whole lot. They're probably like not getting on the horses. They're not ATVing, but they're there to relax and be around their family. Yeah, cool. They're not going to be paying for activities that they're not going to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you go to ranch at Rock Creek, that's all inclusive price. They might be paying for activities they're not doing, but then you've got different ages that want to do more. The only hard thing is, of course, then are the like having that kind of thing so people can get instant rather than having it all sort of paid out initially. You do have to think about it, but it is an incredible spot. They do have combination of houses, which is what we're looking at here. The houses range from probably 3 bedroom. They have some 2 bedrooms ones that really needed renovations. Not sure if they managed to do that yet, but their nicer ones are like this: mountain chic, comfortable, cozy. A palace you can kick off your shoes,
I don't
your
know about a
boots.
palace. I think a
Well,
place.
what place, to me will be my palace. You
Yeah,
know,
huh?
I'm saying
That's
you
mountain
don't have,
chic, huh?
you're
It
not
feels like a
exactly.
palace, even if
You
it ain't.
you're not wearing. You don't have to wear if you're dirty or your boots are dirty. You can just kick off and that's it.
That's
And they have
it.
also larger ones for about 5 bedrooms.
Yeah. They also have glamping tents. Now, theirs is a little confusing. Each one is its own camp. So there's the river camp. That's next to a river. There's another one that's out in the field. I think they have a total of maybe 6 different camps. Your meals are all there. If you're at the main resort to Paws Up, you'll be given a car and you'll drive to and from the main lodge area as well as your cabins. So you're driving around. You're driving around. All your meals will be in the main lodge. If you're at one of the tented camps, all of your meals will be in the main pavilion. At the tented camp, those are seasonal. Main resort at Paws Up is not seasonal. Also, it's open year round, but all activities are shared. The other thing to know is they call it the resort at Paws Up because they really see themselves as, yes, it is a massive 35,000 acre ranch. They have horses, they have cattle, they are growing a lot of stuff that they're cooking with. It's big and it's a real functioning ranch. However, they want it to, really be fun too. And they also have a go-kart track, they have a ropes course. They just don't take themselves so seriously. In some ways, I think it's a lot of fun. Also, if you have foodie clients or people that love food, you can pair up a chef with a vineyard, food and wine. Uh, I'm a big fan. I like it a lot. Now, also they have launched something called the Green O. The Green O is adults only, much more designy. So, how we say, more
Modern.
modern little huts, in the woods, like tree houses. They're very, very sexy, very contemporary. They have their own pavilion as well. So if you're a couple that doesn't want to be around kids, there will be a lot of kids here in the summer. Then you should stay at the Green Oak. Activities will still be with everybody, so you could have children on one of your activities, but you'll be actually sleeping separately and eating separately. Triple Creek Ranch is the one that we mentioned is exclusively adult only. Is also in Montana and is also year round, but you're not going to find any children here ever. Now, rooms are cozy. Price point wise, this one tends to come in a little bit more affordable. It is a member of Relais and Chateau, or at least it was. I hope I was saying that correctly. Now, food is great. It really is about an experience for couples that want to get away and do this ranch experience without a lot of children around. Anyone that has gone and come back with just rave reviews about this place.
Moving to New Mexico, so we're going south seasonality. So seasonality wise, the Colorados to Montana to the Wyomings, all of those. If you want truly warm weather, you need to go to it in the summer. So you're really going like July is when you're going to get the truly warm weather, and you're still going to want to have a sweater at night. People think the opposite of New Mexico. They think because it's in the southwest that it is going to be warm in the winter. It's not. It is actually high elevation, and it's also cold in the winter. However, it gets warmer sooner. So we're going to talk about Vermejo. It is owned by Ted Turner, and it is 550,000 acres. As a comparison, Grand Teton National Park is 3,000 acres. Like private national park that is almost twice the size of one of our major national parks. There's literally nothing around. It is such a spectacular wilderness that is really sort of bought up, and you are the only people here. Two lodges you can see on the right are the Casa Grande, I think, and Casa Menor is the other one. Casa Grande has more the classic rooms in it. It does not have air conditioner, but again, the summer is hot. But really, you are at high elevation, and I think it's around 7,000 feet. So again, if you want truly hot weather, you want to go in the summer. But now that it will cooling down at night, but it gets warmer a lot sooner than Montana does. Casa Menor, on the other hand, the other side does have air conditioner. So if you are going in the summer, really suggest booking on this side. Although I will say the rooms on the Casa Grande side are a little bit more unique, which is what we're looking at here. So clearly classic. Was not built in a guest house. This was built as a home. This was really a ranch. It still has every activity under the sun, and just the ability to do any activities at all, which is also kind of fun. I think right away to plan this trip is to schedule something each morning. So horseback riding, hiking, shooting, all of those you can do here. Keep the afternoons free. You can always add things on. But there's something really fun about just being able to go for a walk in this incredible space where you can just walk and walk and walk.
That's right. There's hikes you can do self-led. They have some geocaching where they give you it's almost like a scavenger hunt. You have a compass and you're going and you're looking for different things. Lots that you can do that's not scheduled. and not guided as well as the stuff that is guided. So it's just a wonderful space to be getting here. To be getting here is a little bit, complicated, but not really. If you fly into Denver and drive 4 hours south, you're going to get here and you're going to pass the Zapata Ranch along the way.
A great trip you will be doing at Denver, Zapata, Bermejo, and then it's about 3 hours longer to get into Santa Fe, New Mexico. So you can really book it with Santa Fe or Albuquerque in one side and Denver on the other, and link together some incredible spots.
Yeah, moving into Nevada. Now, this is a little bit out of the way off the Rocky Mountain area, but I just wanted to include it because I thought this is a really special place here in Nevada. It's a Mustang monument. It's about 3 hours from Las Vegas, and I think that's where you're going to be landing. It is very unique, and it is really built just like Ted Turner did with Vermejo, sort of conservation for the land and the wildlife there. This one is very specifically focused on the American Mustang horse. So the woman who bought this land, her goal is to rescue Mustangs. There is riding, lots of it here. You are not riding the rescued Mustangs, but they are roaming all over the place. I mean, all over the place. You can see they have these tents, which used to be entirely set up as sleeping arrangements. So super special. These past few seasons, they've actually gone back. They do have actual rooms, and they've gone back to those. I'm really hoping they bring these back because they're really incredible. It is less of a traditional hotel and more about an experience and about a way to learn about how, to know something very specific within the American heritage, which is the Mustang horse. Now, she is very much an activist. If you are an animal rights person, you will love this. Her mission here is to raise awareness and raise money for the Mustangs. But it is a super cool place to check out, and probably not a lot of people have heard about it. So it is really a unique spot.
Moving into Utah, this is a beautiful picture of Moab and one of my favorite places on earth. We will be talking about a spot in Moab that I love. But first, we're going to talk about Amangiri. If you guys have heard of this place, you started on Instagram, you have seen it with celebrities postings about it. This is totally spectacular. It is not in any way a ranch, but we couldn't really talk about sort of the wilderness lodges in Utah without mentioning Amangiri, especially because it can be very confusing. Few things to know. One of it is enormous, expensive,
Expensive.
or expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
the food is
expensive too, but it's also
included.
expensive.
Yeah, food is included. The drinks are not. So it's a place for people who have a lot of money to spend. It is cold in the winter. It is hot, like very hot in the summer. But people go. It's very busy year round. The price point is quite high year round. There's not much seasonality in the pricing because it is just such an in demand spot to be. Activities include slot canyon, hiking. They have 7 different via ferratas. Is
Yep.
that it?
Via Ferradas.
So when you're sort of buckle in and you're down doing a combination of rock climbing
Rock climbing.
as
Yeah.
well as sort of a scrambling, that is incredible.
Yeah. Horseback riding can be done on property. It can also go and ride through the slot canyons. They have an incredible spa. Rooms are divided like this one, which are the traditional rooms. There's no such thing as a bad room here. They are all spectacular. You are paying a high price point for them, but they are stunning. They have that Amman design. I mean, you want to take a picture of every corner. Now, they also have something called Camp Sarika, which they opened pre pandemic or during the pandemic, which is a tented camp. It is not in any way glamping. It is really, it's a true room, but it does have sort of the canvas top. Yes, it's an air conditioning one. So you can be totally fine there in the summer. You're not going to be hot in your room at all. Also, there are more suites there where you have a separate living room and bedroom, whereas here they are all open plan. So if you have somebody who has kids, if you have kids, and this may seem like a couple's place and for families to go to, but I would not say it's great for families in that sort of dead heat of the summertime because you're just not going to run out of you're just going to run out of activities to do. Probably better when you can be kind of out and about and moving around, but still incredibly special.
Large a big sky,
Blue sky.
a blue sky, sorry.
It's
This
okay.
is another ranch like you could combine with Amangiri. It's
Geary.
Amangiri.
Yep.
It is often similar customers who likes them both. But this is like I don't know how third of the price is still expensive, but not as expensive as Amangiri, because very little is. The largest at Blue Sky is only about 25 minutes from Park City. People do go here in the winter, still ski. I wouldn't say if you're a daily skier, you're going to want to go in and out of there because it's about 20 minutes to get to the resort. But you're not stuck in the middle of nowhere. That way you are at these other ones. There's nothing to go to the closest airports are Phoenix or Las Vegas, 4 to 5 hours. Here, you are 30 to 45 minutes from Salt Lake City. You are 25 minutes from Park City. So there's a lot to do. If you want to leave, but lots of property. Great hiking, great spa, great shooting. You can go visit the whiskey distillery that's nearby. So lots to do. But more traditional in terms of his hotel. These hotel rooms are gorgeous. My favorite, though, are the ones that you can see here that
Oh,
are down on the creek at the bottom of this photo.
yep.
They are built right along the creek. Not a suite, or so it's for couples who wants a little bit more space, a little bit more privacy, and they're overlooking the creek. Totally romantic, perfect for a baby honeymoon, getaway, or anniversary trip.
Yeah, views are really stunning from certain rooms. And it is good to look at the category because some of them where you can see if they're overlooking another rooftop of that room, they've been planting them. They're covered in grass now. Some are more private than others. It's a good thing if you're totally alone. Certain rooms are going to be more that way versus others. The design is spectacular as per usual for a bearish resort. um, Now, moving on to Sorrel River Ranch. This is in Moab. The rooms at the lodge at Blue Sky are stunning, and the rooms at Amangiri are stunning. The rooms at Sorrel River Ranch, they are not. But that's okay because it's also about the setting. This is another big step down in pricing. This is not for people who want five-star luxury. Sorry to disappoint those who thought they were all going to talk about luxury everything, but we want to make it affordable for people that don't want to take out a second mortgage as well. So, yeah, this is for people who want to be, in a totally incredible part of the country. Moab is not that easy to get to. It's about a 3 hour drive. You can also fly into other places and take long drives. It is not easy to get to Moab. Moab is an adventure junkie's dream destination. If you are at Arches National Park nearby, go in, do the hiking to watch the sunrise from Arches. You're close to Canyonlands. There's continually all sorts of stuff that you can visit. Now, this is a great combo if you do Moab in combination with Zion National Park and the Sorrel River Ranch. Owners actually own another ranch called Zion Mountain Ranch. That's down by one of the entrances of Zion. But this is just an incredible place to go. You want a minimum of 4 to 5 nights here, even though the hotel itself is not anything totally to write home about with the rooms. You're about 25 minutes outside of the town of Moab. Good to remember, because if you're driving in to go to dinner, the windy road, people tend to be out and about during the day, be in town, maybe after their activities, have lunch. They are exploring the town, tend to be here at night just because, frankly, you're exhausted from everything you've been doing. The food is totally fantastic. You're ready to go to sleep, and you don't want to have to drive home in the dark. Activities on a property that they have, a little petting zoo with the animals for kids, which is really great. You do have horses here on property. They have the quads where you can actually go off roading right from here. Lots of stuff that you can do directly from the property. You don't need to leave every time. So, again, I would call it ranch-lite. It's not an actual ranch in terms of working dude ranch the way these other ones are, but it is a really wonderful place to go. And you can see the rooms there. They're totally fine, perfectly comfortable with renovated bathrooms. Definitely kind of just that typical Southwest design. Now, they have a home if you are pickier and you are willing to spend more. Uh, we could be putting you in a home because, and I don't know folks home either, but because it's actual separate house. It is a little bit nicer, but as long as you manage your own expectations in terms of the rooms not being the reason that you're coming here, it is a really cool spot to come to. Now, just to mention, if you want to go to Moab, but you want to be in town, the Hoodoo is our favorite hotel there. It is a new hotel, and it is a Hyatt. It's not full of personality or has anything unique about it, but it is brand new. Nice marble bathrooms, walkable to all the restaurants, and well priced. So, if you don't want Sorel, that kind of setting outside of town,
Do the
do
voodoo.
do the Hoodoo in town. Just go to Moab. It's great.
Yes. In Wyoming, we in Wyoming, as we bounce around the Rockies, we are going to start with a true obsession, Brush Creek Ranch. This is one where it is like a ranch at Rock Creek. One of those where you are like, wow, okay, that's expensive. But people gets there and they just rebooked it immediately. They want to keep going back again and again and again. It is like a place with a true soul. It is the only way I can really articulate it. It is a family owned. The owner passed away recently. Was really a place that was built for one man dream of having a really wonderful place for his family, for friends and family to come, and he totally succeeded. There are hotel rooms as well as cabins, which are what you're seeing here. They are spread throughout the property. They'll drive you back and forth. Or if you have a rental car, which most people here will have a rental car because you're probably driving into Denver and driving up 3 hours in the summer or even more in the winter, depending on if there's snow, but it is you're going to drive to and from your cabin to the main area.
Yeah, the activities are, I mean, you name it. Like, what do you want to do? They're going to make it happen. You come in the winter, they own their own ski mountain. And they have a cat that will take you up and down. So you have skiing that is right there. It's adjacent, it's 45 minutes. They will also give you ski clothes. If you didn't think that you wanted to ski and you decided you wanted to, I mean, they have paintball, they have archery, they have horseback riding, they do rodeos, they have kids clubs, they have great food and wine, they have a hidden tunnel network of wine tasting rooms. They make their own gin and bourbon, you name it. This place does it, and the staff is phenomenal. The rooms are super comfortable. They are not super fancy. They're in the process of renovating all the cabins. They will come in looking a little bit more like this one, which is a newer one, but they are rustic and it's comfortable. And I cannot say enough good stuff about this place. It really is one where, I mean, if you have the budget or are willing to stretch the budget a little bit, do it. I,
We personally will be doing it, and we're just putting those pennies
they
away.
got it, man.
Here's where you don't have to stay poor. Three Spears is quirky and cool and affordable.
That's right.
It is also tiny, teeny tiny. So plan well ahead if you know you want to go. This is outside of Jackson Hole. So that people can combine with the time in Jackson Hole and then outside. I'm planking on the drive time.
Yeah, I think it's about an hour, about an hour and a half from Jackson Hole. So not so bad. You can do a day in Yellowstone National Park from here. So, like we said with Sage, which is coming at it from the Montana side, that you can hit you can hit Yellowstone from the Wyoming side. It was a family camp that was owned by a family who were bi-coastal, and this is where they come every summer to meet up. The cabins are older. The staff is very small. You might find the general manager straightening out, the bed or taking the trash out in the morning. You'll find the waitress who was, cooking, serving you dinner, was also maybe taking you out for a horseback ride. It is a real like family owned place that decided to turn their passion for the spot into a hotel. They hired people from some of these other ranches that we were talking about. So in terms of the folks that are actually running the spot, they really know hospitality. But what we would tell you is understand what you're getting to in terms of the rooms. Now, they are comfortable, as you see, but they are not meant to be fancy, but super affordable. The rooms start at 300 a night or so. So it is like a place for people who want to be in nature and want a horseback ride and have some really special experiences, and they don't have that Brush Creek money, and it makes us feel so good, huh?
Right?
See,
Yeah.
to be able to give all of you something that isn't going to be second mortgage level spending. Again, just manage your expectations on the quality of rooms. Also, not a long stay kind of place. Some of these other ones, like Brush Creek, I mean, you better be there at least 5 nights because you'll miss out. There's so much to do there. More here of a 3 night spot. You do have a town it's nearby. People are usually going into town for dinner at least a couple of times to try out different restaurants because it's a somewhat limited menu here. So this isn't a full 5-star hospitality experience. It's really about the setting and the
Yeah.
destination and the price point.
Glad to have you, Ranches, on this presentation that won't break your bank account. So you can have a Western good time with your loved ones. That's your always remember.
Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for joining us. See you
Take
till
care.
next time. Bye now.
Bye now.